Hi, I'm Phil Brown. I'm founder and head instructor of Badger Bushcraft based in mid-Kent. We teach bushcraft, survival skills, nature awareness, a whole host of other bits and pieces related to the outdoors. We do a lot of work in schools and educational establishments, and today I'm just out in local countryside near where I live with Inca, our Labrador. I'm sure you'll see her later on. And we're going to see what we can find. So here we can see some of the ash keys that we used in our blog to produce the ash key pickle. Past their best now. They're gone very, very brown, and we caught these earlier on this season before they'd even started to develop any colour, and they were still succulent. There are plenty of blackberries growing wild in the hedgerows near where I live. These ones are just getting beautifully ripe, and I'm sure I'll be back to pick these and make something rather tasty. Perhaps some wine or some vodka would be pleasant for Christmas, or even a pie with some of the local apples from the orchards. So here we found some fox scat. Very, very clear to see that there's bone in there, and this fur looks very much like rabbit to me. Foxes obviously mark this area pretty well. Inca's very interested, and so I was at this spot around about 2 weeks ago, and as we came past I heard something move, which I thought was a small mammal, and it was 3 really, really large grass snakes. I've just come back today in the hope of possibly filming some of the snakes, but it's a little bit cool today, very, very overcast. But what I am really, really fortunate to find is where the grass snake has shedded its skin. Absolutely beautiful, really, really good quality, nicely intact, and I'll be able to take this and add it to the animal finds box, which we take round to schools and we use on our courses. Absolutely fantastic. It's a real privilege. So here we have where the head of the grass snake was. We can see, if we look carefully, where the eyes were. There's still a protective covering there for the eye. It's beautiful, beautiful skin. Probably 2.5, 3 foot long. I'll measure it when I get back home. Unfortunately, the shed skin, I managed to break that on trying to extract it from a load of brambles, but a beautiful find nevertheless. What a wonderful thing. So here we've got some beautiful contrasts in colour. We've got the purple sloes from the blackthorn, the Prunus spinosa. If we look a little bit closely, we can see those savage thorns there that have a relationship with an algae that grows on them. If we were to get pricked by one of those, it will go septic very, very quickly. And then over here to the right, that beautiful red, absolutely glorious. Here we have the hawthorn, the Crataegus monogyna. Both of these we can eat. The sloes are a little bit sharp, to say the least. I should be waiting to have had a bit of a frost before I come and pick some of these. They'll be absolutely fabulous in some sloe gin. Might not be ready for this Christmas, but certainly next year. And we'll be looking at something else on the blog with the hawthorns, or the haws as they're called. I'll be doing something with those later on. Just wait for those to plump up just a little bit more. Absolutely beautiful. What we've also got here is a very, very traditional Kentish hedge line here with these trees, which are hornbeam, and you can see that there are coppice still where they've been cut over many years and allowed to regrow. Planted on a bank, again very very traditional in this area of Kent and used as a form of boundary marker. Sometimes there'll be a ditch and a bank, which is more normally the case. Beautiful tree, one of the hardest native, or certainly the hardest native wood to the United Kingdom. Burns really really well, one of my favourite firewoods in fact, great for cooking over. So here we've got the seeds of the hornbeam hanging down there. Not uncommon at all to find thousands and thousands of these strewn all over the ground, nibbled in half by small mammals, mice, bank voles. Really really pretty. One of the things that I like to do when I'm out walking is just to stop, have a look at the countryside around us, take in the view. A few inquisitive faces there from the sheep, probably eyeing up the dog rather than me. Beautiful, look at that. Lovely place to live. Here we've got the ditch and bank boundary planted up here with the hornbeam that we were looking at earlier, interspersed with some hawthorn. Just further along there's also some field maple. These make exceptional wildlife corridors, so the small mammals can live in there, travel from place to place in a little bit more safety than the open. A very very big owl population around here, mainly tawny and little owl, so they can travel up there in a little bit more safety. So we've got the swallows picking insects off the wing. Really low down today. Always an indication to me that when they're feeding low, we're in for some bad weather. And here comes the rain. So we got back to Badger HQ. The rain's stopped. I did get a little bit wet on the way back. And here's the beautiful grass snake shed skin that we found when we were out earlier. I wasn't too far out with a measurement, just rough. Probably stretches out a little bit further than that, probably goes out to the 3 foot mark if it was all to be stretched out in a perfectly straight line. Absolutely fantastic. Wonderful thing. There we go. You can clearly see where the head and the eye was here now, that we've got a bit more of a background to it. Beautiful, beautiful pattern there. So it just goes to show what you can find if you keep your eyes open